Okay, welcome to another episode of Conversations with Dr. De Silva. Happy New Year. This is the first time I've seen you this year. I hope that 2019 brings you most things that you need and some of the things that you really want. This is a TV show where your voice matters. We bring various different guests sharing things with you that they're doing in the community. I believe that African proverb, which states, it takes a whole village to raise a child. I also believe in what John F. K. said, that's not what your country could do for you, but what you could do for your country. And I say, hey, let's step it up and let's see what our communities could do for each other. And today we have our guest, Haim, who has been here a few times. You guys are used to seeing him now. Welcome, Haim.
Welcome, Cello. It's very good to be here. I become a regular.
Yes, you become a regular. It's a wonderful.
Once a month, we're sitting here and we're talking about something that's close to our heart and close to our people, that they can take it and use it and benefit from that. It's the whole purpose.
Exactly. Yeah. So today, what are you bringing to the show?
I would like to talk about what the purpose of us to be here in this planet.
Okay.
Yeah, which is what we're doing here, what we designed to do, what we want to do, what we want to create, what we want to see in this kind of world that we're living in. Yeah. And for the most people, they have no sense of direction. Yeah, when you look at the majority, I would say the majority of people, they just go day after day after day after day, the same thing, and it's no change, and it's nothing exciting. It's just to have a living. And to have a living, what you leave behind you.
Right.
What message you have, because I believe, and that everyone have a purpose on this earth.
Right.
But only few are fortunate to find out what is that. Usually you will see them as volunteering. People that volunteer, they donate from their time to something that's bigger than them.
It's true.
Yeah. And that's, you have joy when you do that. And it's hard to describe it. Yeah, when you do something that you love, we said that, when you do something that you love, you never walk a day in your life. How many people can say it?
Probably not many.
Yeah, not many, not a lot. And why is that? Why we never even try to find why we're here? It's never occurred to a lot of people. Nobody asks himself that kind of question. What I'm here, what I'm doing here. What is my purpose in life?
I remember one of the previous shows that we've done, and we talked about, when you usually meet people for the first time, the first few questions that they ask is like, what do you do for a living? But if you really ask people, who are you? Most people get stumped. They know what kind of work they've done and whatnot, and sometimes they identify themselves with the work that they do, but to really realize who they are. And I think, if you really know who you are, you may know what your purpose may be here and what you're contributing. I think that's an important question. And I believe that some people are just existing. They're not living. They're just existing, and not living. I think that's something that you're alluding to.
There is one guy he lives in Texas, and I like to listen to him from time to time. And he says something very, very interesting. He said, most of the people have living. Very few have a life. Now, the life what he talks, it's an acronym. It's live in freedom every day.
Live in freedom every day. I like that.
Yeah, but many people have a living, and why is that? I mean, that starts since we are kid, and we talk about that also, which is when you have experience, you know what you're doing. If you don't have experience, you don't know what you're doing, and you're not going to do anything because you hold yourself hostage for not to be bullied, not to be laughed of. So you don't do anything that you don't know how to do. Yeah. So the self-esteem or your self-image about yourself is either low or you don't know that, because you don't know who you are. Now to develop that, yeah, we need to re-educate many people, but we need to go back in time.
Okay.
Which is mean to go back to the childhood. We let you to experience a lot of things, which is mean to let you do that. Not to prevent you, not to hold you. When we do that, what happens is when we prevent from people to express themselves and to try many things to know what they can, what they can't, yeah? The first thing that's come is experience. The second thing that's coming, you can start to trust yourself, what you can do. Yeah? As you know, you learn about who you are. When you learn about who you are, now you're going to find your purpose. I mean, that's the thing that I can do. This I want to participate. You trust yourself. Yeah, which is mean to let you to do things. But because we don't do that, we put all kind of stop sign. Don't go there, don't do that, you're prohibited, you're not ready, you're too young. All this line of stop sign. Yeah? Our mind all the time go back to safety. Yeah, we all the time look for the safe place, the secure place that we know we're not going to get hurt, we're not going to show up. Yeah? And when you don't show up, you not exist.
Right.
Yeah? So you're all the time going back to a place that you feel secure, but you're not going forward.
Right.
You're all the time going backward.
It's funny you talk about the topic of insecurity. On my service that I do the last Sunday of every month called I Am the Peace Movement, actually that's what we talked about this past Sunday, insecurity. And to realize that, you know, insecurity is security is an illusion. You know, most of our lives are chasing physical security, social security, financial security, and to feel that kind of safety, and to realize that's really an illusion. But to really have the courage to follow and pursue your heart, I think that's what life really is, the acronym that you just shared with us. Because I that word freedom has been thrown around for so many years. And what does that mean when people hear the word freedom? What does it really entail? Within certain contexts, it means certain things. In other ways, it means other things as well. Some people may say even freedom is an illusion because we live ourselves in such constraints because we're pursuing and chasing that level of security that we're not not allowing ourselves to really have that ultimate freedom. So when I hear that, that's what comes to mind.
What's come to mind, I used to have a group that I was talking about. I was every month making a talk about confidence and self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that if you want to raise your confidence and to build your self-esteem, one of the things that you need to give more attention is that security. And you need to be unsecure. Simply as that. Because when you're secure, right, you take things for granted. When you take something for granted, you don't do anything. You just, you guarantee. You have guarantee from who, from where, I don't know. But that's your belief.
Right.
Now, when you take that security, it's good for the moment. The next day is change. It's not the same thing. Now you have reason to complain. Now you start to blame someone. Yeah, you feel security, but somebody else violated that. It took it up from you. Yeah, so to be unsecure is much better, because now you depend on yourself. You not depend on the environment, other people, government, society, whatever you want to call it, that they will take care of you, because it's not going to happen. Yeah, all what I mentioned, they take care of themselves first.
Right.
You the last one in the list.
Right.
Yeah, so if you not take care of yourself first, which is mean you're supposed not to be secure at all. When you're not secure, you're on your toe all the time. So you are aware of what's going on for every minute.
Right. Yeah, and I think not only that, but you don't take any opportunity for granted. And I think sometimes what happens with chasing that illusion, you're limiting your growth. You're limiting, as perhaps you'd say, is your purpose, and finding out what your purpose is really is in life. You know, I sense of like a security as a security blanket. And I think one of the reasons why people are pursuing that level of security, which we talked upon here a few times about fear. It's fear of if I don't have that kind of security, if I don't have that financial security, I may be out in the street, I may not have these things and so on. So it's an element of fear. So if that's what you do to maintain that fear at bay, you're not really taking risks in getting to know who you are and really embracing what freedom really is. I think anybody throughout the years of humanity, the ones that have taken the risk have stared fear in the face, it was not allow themselves to be controlled by it, or the ones that really have found out what their purpose is in life. And I think what you said as far as to be insecure, he's basically saying, you know what, I'm not going to allow fear to control me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's very interesting what you mentioned now. I will go back to when you say you take things as an opportunity, and I don't think the opportunity have any place in here, because I take it into option.
Okay.
Yeah, we have option to do what we do or to do something different.
Right.
Now, when you do what you know how to do, you know the result. Yeah? You want to get more. Everybody wants to have more in life.
Okay.
So you need to start to do something else, something different. Which means that saying, if you want to have something that you didn't have before, you need to do something that you didn't do before.
Right.
Yeah. Now, you talk about taking risk. It's very interesting that you mentioned that. It's very good that you mentioned that, because we at risk from the minute we wake up in the morning. Yeah, we at risk any moment, because you don't know what's going to happen next. And now the risk that you get, and let's put it in this scenario, we live up to 90 years old, 100 years old, right? 80 years old, right? We're sitting on a rocking chair and we reflect back on life, right? What we see. Here is a lot of regret can come